We've got some of the courthouse budgets to go over with. I don't have any of the major elected officials other than our county collector. We got county treasurer too, though, don't we? Any word on Peggy's
They're
status?
hoping to still discharge him either Tuesday or Wednesday of this week.
I mean, like discharged from rehab, or really to get to come home?
Yes.
Well, I bet they'll both be relieved with that. Good for them, bless their hearts. I hope that works out well for them then. Kelly's put together several budgets for us. Let's go ahead, since I've got the top one come out as the collector, and we have our collector sitting over here beside us. Let's kind of look at that one first. County collector, 1,000.0104. Just take a second to glance down through the, Susan, anything major you want to take the time to point out to us?
The only thing is, Harley and I are wanting to change Ashley and Manila Leachville to be a chief deputy. And that's what they all have been in the past. And
Why is that one not now?
Harley hired her in just as regular, I guess. Anyway, we're gonna split that salary 50-50.
Out of?
My 50's coming out of automation.
There you go.
And then, we're getting an ATM in the office, and, the fee for that is $300 a month. Or that's what their fee to collect the number. They want 100 transactions, which I know that's not gonna, we won't have 100 transactions. So I just budgeted in $3,600 to, cover the service charges on that. And that's under service contracts and my automation.
That's page 3 on her. Right down at the bottom, $9,600 where we had budgeted $6,000 this year.
Mm-hmm.
And we've only used $82.88, so you're just bumping it up $3. What's going to be our benefit there?
Well, just so customers don't have to come back into town. You know, with delinquent personal, they have to pay cash or use their debit card or credit card now. So if they don't have a debit or a credit card, then they have to drive all the way either to Osceola or Blythe to get cash. So, it's just a benefit for the customer.
So you'll just have an ATM there
Yes.
in the courthouse at Burdette?
Right.
And that's, I guess you're not doing that at Osceola or Manila?
No.
Okay.
And
Any other major?
It's no cost to us, other than to make sure they get the $300 fee.
But anybody in the courthouse may use it. Right?
Anybody can use it, yes.
So if anybody needs $20 in cash, they can run in there and get it.
Right.
If they had anything to spend it on?
That's right.
They got no vending machines in there?
Not at this point.
Well, that shouldn't be a problem to get.
Guys, anybody looking at both her general fund budget and her automation fund budget? Anybody got any questions for our county collector?
I just want to tell her how delighted I am that she can run her office with 8.5 employees, and some of the others that takes 12 or 13.
Thank you.
She said thank you. Guys, anybody? Any questions there? Looks like it's just pretty well straight across the board. I can't catch anything at this point. We'll just keep on going. Remember that hers is one of the offices that's funded majorly out of the school funds, just like Harley's office is.
Oh,
Her automation fund. Let's go to courthouse. County general fund, courthouse, count 1,000.0108. 108-.1001. This is one of the judges of budgets that he's had Kelly look at and work on for us. on, and be honest with you, we just got these this morning, and I've had a busy morning, and I haven't looked at these either, so I don't have highlights or high points right this second. Contract labor, IT, 18,000 so far this year, 24,000 in our budget for this year, and you're carrying it straight across. Are we gonna need that contract labor as that? We will.
That's Norris.
Sorry I
And
asked.
I haven't heard if he's changing his price, but as of right now. it's the
Where is
same.
that?
It's right down near the bottom under contract labor. It's 3001 of the last four digits. It's on page 1 of the, yeah, you're over there. And right there.
That covers all the different offices, does it not?
That's the whole county.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's not just the judge's office or your office. It can be in Susan's or anybody else's. This travel budget that's down here, who travels on that?
Well, we haven't had anybody.
Where's the judge's travel?
It's out of roads.
Okay, I'd rather leave it there. And we're just guessing at the utilities, carrying it straight across because we really don't know out at Burdette.
Right,
be
and
cheaper.
we're gonna have to pay some on Waddle still too, you know, so we'll have 3 locations, or 2 locations that come out of the Waddle one, and then the OCL one has its own, but, yeah, we're not sure what that's gonna cost.
You're awful quiet over there. Guys, it's pretty much just straight across the board. No major changes. County treasurer, wish Miss Peggy was here. I just miss her. Huh? Sorry?
She's still with her husband.
Yes, and Kelly just reported that hopefully he may be discharged the middle of this week. They may get to come back home. I hope they do. Did she have you put in any changes particularly, Kelly?
The only thing that we discussed was the change in software, and that is lowered to 7680 this year, and from
Why?
Her software,
Yeah.
she's gonna be changing software, so her amount is being lowered to 7680 from the 16,000. The only thing that we aren't sure about is there may need to be at some point some data conversion fees added, but we do not know how much that will be or when we will need it, so we haven't added anything for that.
So actually what we're looking at is a budget that's almost $12,000 cheaper.
Well, yeah, she's losing about half of her software fees. I think that was the only change.
Guys, any questions for Kelly about the treasurer's budget? Either the treasurer's general fund budget or her automation fund budget? Her automation fund isn't as large as some of the other automation funds, but it is still slightly larger than the county clerk's.
She's not here.
Yeah, she's back in the corner. She sneaked in.
You were gonna say something about me, weren't you?
He can't hear you.
Oh, other county, guys, other county budget, 1,000.100,111.1010. Take a peek at that for a moment.
Whose is it?
It falls under the judge. It's just kind of a catch-all.
was gonna say, is that workman's comp, is that for the entire county?
Kelly?
It's the entire county that we pay out of county general. So it includes sheriff's department and the county general funds.
Have you talked to the judge about this repair maintenance building grounds, if he feels comfortable with that? He's only spent $9,000 so far this year of a $15,000 budget, and I don't know of anything major going on, so I guess that's fine.
Well, it's the annex building, it's the cleaning service for this building, it's their toilet paper, mats, soap, those kind of things. It's the waste pro fee for the dumpster.
You know, I heard you mention out in the hall as I was walking in a while ago, something that I wake up in the middle of the night 2 or 3 times here in the last week trying to think, I've got to ask Kelly. Insurance. Are we working that direction?
Well, we had a meeting scheduled that was going to be a mid-year review type meeting where they could let us know what to prepare for next year. We had to cancel it. So they're going to try to come back the 1st of October if we can get that scheduled. If not, we'll maybe the following week. But with this being our first year, they didn't have a whole lot of history to look at. So we had to wait until they got the first good 6 months of claims in before they could really give us an idea of where we're going. And I have no idea.
Don't know if it could be up or could be down. Any chance of it going down?
Yeah, I mean, there always is, but I don't know what our claims look like at all. I mean, I have not been given any information. So,
You know, in past years, we've had employees with catastrophic issues.
we've had some this year.
Have we had some this year? Okay. Now, those things can't be helped.
No.
And so we'll have an idea about how to adjust our insurance maybe after this next meeting, what maybe to anticipate. Isn't Justice Nelson the chairman of that committee?
He is.
That's what I've heard.
Are you just looking at the one committee? I mean, the one company?
No, we're gonna get quotes from, we'll have several quotes, at least probably 3 or 4 quotes.
I've used this insurance some, and although it says Cigna on it, it's not a Cigna policy. They're a third party. And I don't even understand it.
Well, the third party is just the people that pay our bills. That's what the third party administrator is, the performance.
Well,
They just pay claims.
Is it coming from an associate, is it just written for certain counties? Is that how this
It is a group of counties, yes. I would much rather them explain it to you because I don't want to misspeak about them, but yes, they do.
Cigna writes our major medical. Once you get over $5,000, that's when Cigna.
out of pocket?
Yes. Well, it's not actually out of pocket, whatever that,
It is if you go to another network.
correct, whatever our threshold is, Cigna is the underwrites the major medical.
Well, everybody you show your card to, they'll say, oh yeah, we take Cigna. Well, it's not Cigna, you know, when you go to the doctor's office. Now, up until a certain part, now, I'm not, familiar with insurance, that's why I'm asking.
In 17 and 18, that might have been legal defense.
Have you
Maybe
used
that's
any
what I
other
didn't know.
network providers?
No, I've only
Is
used
that
that
professional
network.
services you're talking about? I know they dropped way down.
Yeah, we were anticipating
They
it.
should all be
Good.
Did you hear what I said?
I heard.
Doesn't matter if they even give you a bigger break than deductible. It's safer than work.
Well, there's people that's hooked up with doctors that are not in the network, and I mean, it's not an option. The pain doctor I use is also the one that installs the pain pump. And I don't know of another doctor in the country that
Have
does
you,
it.
yeah, I'd be interested. So it's a new company. Have you heard
Dr. Green
anybody
is
else
with us.
talk about coverage?
Yeah, we've had good
Installs pain
things,
pumps.
we've had bad, people with bad experiences. We had 3 or 4 people that had a bad experience. We had the company come in, they addressed all those concerns. I haven't heard any problems since then. they're more than willing to help anyway. That's why I say if you've got an issue, your deductible should not be any more than $2,500, no matter what.
Total out of
So-
pocket for the year?
Right, so you need to call them.
If you're using out of network people, it's not more than that.
Right.
Well, I got a bill for $30,000 last, and that was after insurance paid off.
Really?
Well, you need to call them. They can't fix it if they don't know. I can't fix it if I don't know. So we have a person that's assigned to our account, and she's very good. If you'll call her and send her everything she asked for, she'll work on it and tell you what's going on and what you need to do.
Okay.
And I can get you that information, but anyway.
I'm sure you've already handed it to us at the first of the year, didn't you?
Well, we contacted a few counties that were already with them and had nothing but positive, results, or they had positive comments and everything, and, I don't know a lot of people that have had trouble, but the ones who have, they've worked with them and gotten it straightened out, so I don't know. But if there's something else, it's because we don't know about it.
Well, I've kept my mouth shut and I should be talking to somebody. Okay.
Yeah, they'll be willing to help in any way,
Okay.
you know.
I guess you're gonna talk too, aren't you?
Yeah, 'cause they denied medication for me that I needed.
Well, you didn't come to that meeting, did you?
I wasn't here.
What is, I've quoted a few times, how much that we've been spending on employee healthcare costs. What actually is an individual employee policy costing the county today?
Just for medical,
Yes.
$753 a month.
And how much is that a year?
All together with the dental and everything, it's $9,421.
$9,421 per employee per year. So a $20,000 employee is getting $29,000 plus. Doesn't count retirement or anything else.
Okay.
Send that email.
That's substantial.
If they're healthy.
I said, that's what I said in that email.
The county's one of the very few places that covers 100% of the insurance. I don't either.
One thing that we have discussed in the past, and has been mentioned again this year in an email, that when we get evaluated on our salary basis by JSAP, it just looks at the salary. It doesn't look at how much we pay for their insurance, or how much we pay for their retirement, or how much we pay in their taxes, or anything like that. We're talking about $1,000 raise, maybe. We're wanting to look at everything, but if we went to a 25% cost share per employee, it would end up being a little over $2,000 out of the employee's pocket. But if we turned around and then reimbursed that in the form of a raise, so that we made up whatever the employee had to pay, but it reflected in their salary, it would really boost our standing in the JSAP comparative program. And actually put us more in line with other entities, where, as Justice Burge mentioned, don't know of any other employment entity that's paying a full 100% other than Mississippi County. I'm not recommending that, I'm just throwing that out there, just food for thought. We'll see what they're gonna do with us on our cost. It's getting really expensive on anybody. Kelly, Justice Jackson pointed out in this other county budget on professional services 3009. You know the history back on that?
Yeah, a lot of that in 17 and 18 was what we paid attorneys for jail fee lawsuits. Some of it had to do with the upcoming construction project. And before we were given our bond money, some of those expenses were coming out of there.
Okay.
The
Well,
only thing we've used it so far this year is they did an asbestos survey, I think, on those tanks might have been on that, gas station on Division Street that had come out then.
And that's why we've lowered it on down to 2,000, not anticipating anything. Because a lot of what we're doing now along that line is gonna be aimed at the new renovation project, and will come out of that budget. Excellent. That help?
Yes.
She's smiling, she's happy.
Don't worry.
Michael, at what point, and I know we're just getting into this, but at what point will the quorum court start seeing expenditures as far as out of the bond issue and so forth?
We're already seeing some of that in the courthouse construction fund.
Right.
You should have had them right at the end of our budget last month.
I'll go back and look, I missed it.
About $250,000 that has been expended out of that. And now the timeline, I wish the judge were here, and maybe he'll show up before we're over. The only thing that's functioning in the Blytheville courthouse at the moment are the circuit court issues. Both courtrooms are being utilized at the moment. The judges have a big judge meeting coming up the second week of October. So I think Judge Nelson has it scheduled to shut all that down. And Steve, you may back me up or shoot me down, either one.
The 12th, because we have that 3 days open, because we have to get started, ready to go on Monday.
The 12th of October. And again, Steve, back me up or shoot me down. But instead, he really wanted to deconstruct everything that was in those courtrooms, the chairs, the seats, the benches, and all that kind of stuff. But we have now found out that it's actually going to be less expensive to build out there than it was to deconstruct those and move it all out there. Is that not the case? Isn't that the case now?
I think it is.
I think you said
You might
that
have
last
to ask him
time.
about that, just to be
Yeah,
100%.
I think that's the case. But we're going to move over 15th of October, pretty much, and start moving court out there. And yes, there will be 2 courtrooms. There'll be a large jury courtroom and then a smaller non-jury courtroom.
That's correct.
And so it'll be basically the same services that we've been providing in the Blytheville courthouse. And at that time, then we'll have completely vacated the Blytheville courthouse, and then they'll be ready to fully start the renovation project, and you'll see a lot more expenditures then. That answer, is that what you was asking?
Yeah, I was just curious, at what point, I assume after the bids are let, well, there's some expenses going on now.
Yeah.
And then after the bidding process, and then that's when it really picks up steam, I assume.
Almost everything that you saw in that expenditure from last month's budget, really, it was roughly $250,000. Most of it was fees going to Revival Architecture. Most of it were those fees. The rest of the fees were pretty much involved in moving out to Burdette. There's not really been a lot of true work done up here on the courthouse site just yet. But boy, once it starts, it's gonna roll. Got one more budget, guys, to look at today. Financial management. There's gonna be some changes made in the financial management office this next year. And just kind of it's going back to the way it used to be type thing. If I say restructuring, it's really falling back to the original structure that it was. Kelly, you wanna say anything at all about what we're gonna do, or?
Well, the main thing is that out of our 3 employees that we have back there right now, we're doing about 5 different job descriptions. So we have changed them up in the past couple of years based on the employees that we've had and who could do what position, and now we're gonna be changing that again a little bit. So I'm trying to work, just like the other elected officials, I'm trying to work on job descriptions and get all of that set for each person. So, but that's a work in progress. And back a couple of years ago, we had a part-time person, and I would like to ask for that person back, or a part-time person back, in the office. We're going to have a lot of extra work with the new software, and we could use it, so. Anyway, right now, that amount has been added to the budget. I think I failed to email that one, so if you want to pass these out,
Have you got some other copies?
I do. I'll bring it up for you.
It's got her
It's just
secret
in
notes on it
shape.
now, guys, so.
Yeah.
A little history on what happened, and how the changes have come about in that office. If you'll go back to Judge Randy Carney and Finance Director Brenda Burke. Miss Burke resigned, a little bit unexpectedly on us, and Brenda was carrying a very large workload at that time. She was, oh, I'm sorry, I thought I had enough here. I got another one for you. Brenda was just doing a large workload. No, we've got plenty. We got one for everybody.
Okay.
Brenda was just doing a large workload at that time, and then when she left us, we didn't have anybody to fill all the void, and Miss Kelly stepped up and put on her Supergirl uniform and moved over into Brenda's chair. But then that left a void in the other offices, and it caused a major shift in responsibilities and people trying to cover all the jobs that we had to do. And truly, we have 5 different job descriptions in that office, and we've only got 3 people. They had at that time a part-time person, and Brenda had voided that out or had just not funded it. And we've got so much going on right now. We need to restructure back more like we used to be. Kelly has more on her plate. She's being modest and not telling you how much she's got to do. And it's almost overwhelming. You can ride a good horse to death. You can give a racehorse too much weight and he just can't make the race. And if we're not careful, we're going to do that with Kelly. So we're trying to restructure that office where it'll be more effective and more efficient and get the workload done that the county needs and that we need here at the court and the judge needs over in his office. So, am I correct in most of that? Pretty much? Okay.
Did you hear that?
What'd she say?
She called you a horse.
Thank you, Ms. Curry. 5 job descriptions. On the back page, you'll see some of those. No, it's 5 job descriptions, 3 employees. Budget/insurance coordinator, AP coordinator, payroll and personnel, finance director, human resource coordinator. Kelly is the finance director, and as such, she's the administrator over that department, and she has those 2 employees. And Kelly has a little bit of each one of these jobs, and her one job that she's got is enough to keep her busy. So we're trying to have a separation of responsibilities. Any major questions there, guys? Keep in mind, this isn't final determination. We're just turning these in for everybody's consideration. We'll go back and join them with the revenues. I think Kelly sent out emails with our new revenue projections. She and I spent some time together last week, looking back over them and going back over them and making some modifications. Nothing super huge, but trying to get more in line with reality. You know, keeping in mind that the closer we can be on our revenue projections, the closer we can be on our expenditure budget. We're just trying to do due diligence and get an accurate budget. Do we need to talk about this at all? Not really? Okay, good. That's what we have for you today. We're knocking them down. We are continuing to ask all the elected officials to please turn in their budgets as soon as they can. I know, Sheriff, you've got one of the biggest budgets. Kelly got it already? She's just got to plug it in?
Well, I think we're waiting on them to have a police and fire meeting.
Ah,
We're gonna set a date here in a few minutes.
I thought we did that last week, but that was Fred's committee, wasn't it?
Yeah, roads and bridges.
What time's your road and bridge committee meeting?
1:30? Cindy, isn't that what we decided on, 1:30 Wednesday?
the road department.
Yeah. And we're doing that, the judge kinda wanted to move it back up here, but I talked to him and, you know, if the landfill has made such great improvements, those two things are right there together.
Be nice to
If you're
just
gonna
run
come to
over
the
and look
committee
and see.
meeting, you can drive by and look at the landfill too while you're there.
I did today. It looked good.
We're gonna have tours on Wednesday, $10.
I'm glad I went today.
Are you gonna pay
Can you mark it on, can you mark it on the wall till my crops come in?
It is
Put it on
certainly
books.
a different looking
I
place.
thought that meeting you was gonna pay us $10.
Yes, it is.
Oh, wow, I'll take one of those. I'll have to get a car.
Sheriff, we'll not ask you about your budget right at the moment, since we don't have the numbers and Kelly hasn't got it, and we want to have that committee meeting that Justice Ash will probably work with you and set here in just a few minutes. Is there anything outside your budget that you want to touch base with on this committee? Janice? Our county clerk, ma'am? Anything that you've got at all?
No, sir.
Are you hearing anything, I mean, any timing on our voting machines and all that kind of stuff? How's that rocking along without saying too much?
The last I heard was Wednesday or Thursday of last week, they asked us where do we want it delivered, Bravo or Osceola, and we told them Burdette because they don't have any sales tax.
Don't have any voice.
Sales tax.
That's an elected official working for the county right there. Perfect, perfect. But any kind of delivery date, time, or anything? Any kind of timing on when we will receive our money, portion of the money from the state?
No,
Will we get the
No,
machines first or the money first?
machines probably.
They're gonna want their money?
Mhm.
Imagine that. Ms. Collector, anything?
Money's coming in good.
Is it?
I meant to get a number, but I didn't. I'll have that next time.
Okay. How's it working out at the new courthouse facility at Burdette so far?
Very good.
This is one of your major concerns.
Yes, it is, but it's working really well.
Is our signage adequate?
Not yet. I don't think, I think we need something maybe on the actual building. And when they come
Which
around,
building to
it's-
come in?
Yes. They're still confused on that, but
Well, we
Still wanna
have,
go
we've got two parking lots, right, that they could use?
yes.
They can use
Well,
a
I
south
think-
parking lot just as they come in?
I think eventually, and I may be wrong, Dale could probably tell you that, but I want to think they were going to close that one area off, aren't they, Dale? That parking area, like, where they'll bring their prisoners in out at Burdette, are they going to close that parking area right there off?
Whatever the judge said, we
Okay.
went after that day, I'm not sure how he's got it set right now.
And that's confusing, because when people pull in and see vehicles there, then they think, oh, that's where I need to park.
Well, are you talking about the first parking lot as you're coming in on the right?
Where I park.
Yes. Yeah,
See, that's where a lot of people come in because they think that that's the first area they see.
to park, yes. And when you pull on the grounds, you can see cars parked there.
Mhm.
But it's getting much better.
I'd like to ask Susan, are you getting quite a bit of your collections through the internet or?
Yes, we are. Our online payments,
Yeah.
they are. In fact, we had, one the other day, which really surprised me, was over $10,000 they paid online.
Let's see. 288 dollars.
So,
Cindy, anything out of the judge's office that you know of? Steve, anything out of the judge's office that you're aware of?
Well, of course, tomorrow night.
Ooh, thank you. Good point. Here in Blyville still. Most likely the last one. I've said that 3 times. So maybe this is gonna be the real one. Quorum Court tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Blyville Courthouse in Blyville, Arkansas. Guys, I don't have anything else. We're going to put as many budgets together as we can for next week. we're rolling right along. We're not doing bad. We're not getting quite as much done as I'd like, but, you know, the elected officials have jobs and work schedules also, so. We'd like to see probably, if Dale has his numbers in, the sheriff's budget next week. Maybe Circuit Clerk Mason's budget. Trying to think what else.
Harley got me his about 12:30 today and said that he can do his next week.
Okay.
And then Wayne's gonna do his next week.
You gonna be here?
Yes, sir.
Cool.
And then we can do the judge and Quorum Court and
Maybe after
senior
the,
citizens too.
maybe after the third week of requests, we can get the 911 budget. So,
Maybe so.
okay, sounds like we'll have a pretty full week next week.
I've got 3 ordinances,
Oh, really? For tomorrow night?
yeah. You've sent them to Jeremy to do, so I'm assuming they'll be ready.
He said they would.
What you got?
You were at the meeting?
Oh, so it's from last week?
Yes,
Okay, yes, we did attend to those.
yes.
I thought you meant 3 brand new subjects.
No, I wish.
And I watched the meeting on YouTube.
You want-
I said I actually watched the meeting on YouTube. That's
Did you
nice.
really?
Though. Yes, I
watched one I
did.
missed, and it
Yeah.
really helped you catch up.
It
too.
did. I was. There was a few questions in my mind, and you asked a bunch of them. So
You know,
it was good.
I was at the ASU football game Saturday afternoon, and a former Mississippi County resident that actually lives up at Norfolk came to me and said, "Hey, you were the entertainment of the week for me." She said, "I watched your finance committee meeting on YouTube." She said, "That was really enlightening and enjoyable."
Well, I had to miss one, like I said. I went back and watched it, and it brought you right up to
It really
speed on
did.
everything
Yep.
that was said.
I guess I need to watch one so I'll remember to watch my mouth. So,
That's the reason I watched it. I
It's
watched
too
it.
late once it's on TV.
We'll also have an ordinance, we didn't go back to police and fire, we're just amending a previous ordinance about the Essence Club.
okay. Do you want, before we close, I'm fixing to close this meeting. Before we do you want to talk with those two and set a meeting time, or you just want to wait until after it's over?
We'll wait, let's see what day the sheriff will hold it for the meeting.
Whatever day you need is. I mean, next week.
How about Wednesday of next week?
I just had somebody tell me Wednesdays weren't a good day for them. I know-
No, it's just this week.
Just this week?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you talking about on week?
Well, they're gonna have their meeting on Monday, so we wouldn't be ready for your budget on Monday. Can you possibly put him off one more week?
We can.
Do him like on the 7th of October, we'll do our meeting the 2nd at 1:30 here.
I'll be in Marion Circuit Court on the 2nd.
Okay. What about Thursday?
The 3rd's open.
Thursday.
Thursday, the third.
How many of you can make it to on the 3rd to a meeting?
Okay, where would y'all like to have that, Justice?
We'll do it here.
1:30.
Here at 1:30 on the 3rd.
Okay.
Michael, with the landfill will probably not be ready next week, but probably would be the week after that. And the reason is, those bids are gonna be opened on the 30th.
Sure.
So we need to know, I think we need to know the amounts of those so we can incorporate them into the
Process.
budget.
Well, that's actually not bad, because we'll still have a good meeting next week, but then that'll give us the sheriff and the landfill then to hit
2
on the
weeks.
following week, yeah.
Okay.
Guys, if nothing else, thank you very much. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.